What's up, world? This is going to be my guide to custom matches with cheats. Now, I'm not talking about custom matches that you can find from the main menu. With console commands, we can create matches on any map using cheats like no cooldowns, low gravity, and even adjusting the amount of bots in a match. To start this off, you want to open up the console panel by pressing F7. We can clear out everything in the panel by typing in the clear command and pressing enter. To create a custom match with cheats, we first need to turn on the cheat console command. We can use this command to do so. You can enable them by typing in 1 or true. You can disable them by typing in 0 or false. Next, we want to load up an actual game, and we have to choose a map to do so. We can use the map command, and we can select any map from the list. But if you're trying to play the current map of the game, you're going to want to use DL Streets. Press enter, then escape to close the console panel, and make sure you pause your game as soon as you get into it. You can pause the game by pressing P. The reason we're doing this is we're trying to preserve the timeline at the top. As you already know, the more time that passes, the more of a penalty you have on your respawn. So let's keep that time short. Now, if you're trying to set up a standard bot match with even teams, and you're worried about which side of the map you're going to be on, then make sure when you select choose hero that you also choose the enemy's team. I'm going to explain that in a bit. You want to be on the Sapphire side, choose Amber. If you want to be on Amber, choose Sapphire. You don't care, then go ahead and just hit choose hero. No matter what you choose, as soon as you press this button, the game's going to unpause. So make sure you pause it one more time as soon as you hit this button. Now let me explain something. For reasons beyond my understanding, you can have as many duplicate heroes as you'd like to face in this match, as long as you're not playing as the same character that the AI is playing as. If you want to fight a bunch of bebops, don't pick bebop. You want to fight a bunch of mcginnis, don't pick mcginnis. Me personally, I love playing as mcginnis, so I'm going to go ahead and select mcginnis as my character. At this point in time, let's talk about adding friends. If you look at the top bar, you can see right now we don't have any enemies, we don't have any allies, it's just us. If you want to invite a friend, press F7 to open up the console panel. Use this command to get the status of the current match, and let's make note real quick of this information. On the third line, it shows us how many humans and how many bots are in this match. The limit's 30. If you go over 30, your game's probably going to have a couple of issues handling what's going on. So try to limit yourself between players and bots at a maximum of 30. To invite your friends, copy this code right here. You can press Ctrl-C on the keyboard to copy it, and tell your friends to use the connect command, followed by that code, join your game. It's going to look something like this. Once they press enter, they're going to be sent into the game just like you did when you connected with the map command. Now that you have human players set up, let's go ahead and focus on the bots. To add bots, we actually need to enable the testing tool panel. We can do this by pressing F7 and typing in this command. We can press down on the arrow key, highlight the command that we need, and we're going to just change this to true, or you can put number 1 in its place. When you press enter and escape, you're going to notice that by pressing tab, you can now access the hero tool panel. Now, since this is a custom match with cheats, I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can set up a match with more than 6 bots on a team. To make things simpler on me, I'm actually going to run down the ramp, and I'm going to spawn a couple of heroes down there. Things just get too cluttered up here, and it's easy to make mistakes, and it might only cost us a few seconds to do so. So just unpause the game. If your character gets stuck, open the book real quick, and you can walk on down. Once you're down there, go ahead and repause the game, and open up your testing tools panel. Again, that key is tab. In the panel, you might see a different hero besides Abrams, but we can use this to select which type of hero bot we want to face. We can also use this to set up our friendly bots once we have all our enemies in place. I'm going to go ahead and select Bebop just to show you what that looks like, but I'm also going to show you how you can select untested or Hero Lab heroes in this situation. Once you feel confident in what type of enemy you want, go ahead and spawn 6 enemies right here in front of yourself. With those enemies selected, our goal is going to be to change them from the Sapphire team and put them on the Amber team. If you remember earlier when I was telling you about choosing your hero, we're going to eventually swap ourselves to the opposite team once we have this team set up with all of our enemies. Now, to put these characters on the Amber team, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take control of each one, change their team, and I'll show you an additional step if you want to use unreleased or Hero Lab type heroes. From the Hero Tools panel, go ahead and hit Take Control. This is going to take control of one of the Bebop AI characters, and it might lag for a second, and that lag might get a little more extensive as we have more heroes on the map. Don't be alarmed. Now that we have control of that character, we're going to go ahead and change their team. Now, even though we selected change team, you can see that this Bebop is now on the Amber team. If you wanted this hero to be an untested hero, go ahead and press F7, and we're going to get a list of all the heroes using this command. Press enter, and you can see that it generates a list of heroes. Once you've decided on a hero, use this command to change that bebop into that character. Once I press enter, you can see in the background that our hero changed from bebop to vandal. They're still on the amber team, and now we need to do the same thing to the rest of the characters. As you see in front of us, we still have a mcginnis, we still have a few bebops, and mcginnis is going to be like a jumping character for us. We're going to use mcginnis to bring us to the bottom of the ramp, and then we're going to select bebop and repeat the process. To make things faster, I'm going to hold tab, and I'm going to hit take control twice. This is quickly going to jump me to mcginnis, and then straight to the bebop that's way out there in the distance. Again, since I used the take control command twice, I'm going to have to wait a little bit on some lag for it to select bebop, but once that happens I can go ahead and change its team. And if I wanted to change this to another unreleased character, this is the point in which I would do so. I can quickly press F7, up on the arrow key, and change that hero as well to vandal. So now we have 2 vandals on the amber team, 4 bebops on the sapphire team, and we're going to get those bebops back over here. I've got a quick pattern I follow, and all I do is press take control, change team, and I repeat those steps until the entire team is on the amber side. I'll just leave them as bebop for right now. Take control, wait for the lag, change team. And I just repeat this. Take control, wait for the lag, change team. Take control, wait for the lag, change team. So now I've gotten all of the bebops off of sapphire and onto amber. Now if you're just trying to do a standard game and you're only trying to do a 6 versus 6 match, now would be the time for you to change team, and you would just go over there and spawn the rest of your team. If you wanted to face off against more than 6 heroes, then we're going to repeat this process that we did with the bebops. We're going to go ahead and take control of the mcginnis that's down below. Once it lags out, we're going to go ahead and spawn in 6 more enemies, and we're going to repeat that process again. So I'm going to go ahead and take control, change team, wait for the lag, and then since my mcginnis is down there in front of the bebops, we're going to take control twice, wait for the lag, and then we're going to change our team. And again, you'll get used to this process after you do it about 5 times. It kind of becomes second nature, and I just keep track of my heroes up at the top. Now, the more heroes you spawn, you might begin to forget just how many you spawned in the first place. You can go back to the console panel and hit that status command one more time. As mentioned earlier, we can keep track of how many humans and how many bots are on the map, and you don't want to exceed 30. That's humans and bots combined. Anything over 30 is going to make the game real bugged out. We're going to go ahead and push this and create 12 more bots for Team Amber. I'm going to open up the panel again and take control of mcginnis. Once the lag clears out, I'm going to spawn 6 more enemies. And you can change these enemies anytime you want. Just remember not to change it to a character that you plan on playing as or your friends plan on playing as. I'm going to go ahead and select Vindicta. I'm going to change the hero for the panel. I'm going to spawn in 6 enemies. We're going to take control of the first Vindicta, wait for the lag, and we can change team. Take control twice, wait for the lag, change team. And I think at this point, you should be able to start to see the pattern. Again, once you get used to this, it's pretty much nothing to set up a game. Just keep track at the top of how many people are on Sapphire and how many more times you need to change your heroes. You can check your status command by pressing F7, up, and enter. And we can see now that we are up to 18 bots on this team, 1 human, and we still have plenty of room to add some more. So we're going to go ahead and take control of mcginnis. This time I'm going to change our bot to viscous. I've got a really hilarious skin here for viscous. We're going to spawn in 6 viscous as our enemies. We're going to take control of each one as mentioned before. We're going to change their team over to amber. So one more status checkup should show us that we have 24 bots. Right now they're all set to Team Amber, and you can see the list of players here. Now with that said, you're done setting up Team Amber. Let's go over to Sapphire. We're going to take control of our lone mcginnis down there at the bottom, wait for the lag, and now we're going to change the team of mcginnis. Select Change Hero, and now you can see that we are on the Sapphire side of the map. You can select your bots to be whatever you'd like. I'm going to use ladygeist in this situation. I'm just going to spawn her as a friendly. You can see them over here off to the left. Doing one last final status checkup, I can see that we have in total 29 bots, 1 human being myself, and that's the limit in the game. If you try to invite friends at this point, they will not be able to join. They'll be notified that the game is full. So make sure you spawn them in before you figure out your bots. If you wanted to change your character into an unreleased or Hero Labs character, now would be the time. You can use the same command that you used earlier. You can actually go back to it by pressing up on the arrow keys. Here we can change that name to anything we want. I'm going to go ahead and just make us Calico. The short name for that is Nano. If we go back into the game, our character has been changed. Now that we have both teams set up and our characters set up, let's talk about how we can make this game over the top. I'm going to show you a couple of methods that you can use here to actually make this game a lot more interesting. And this is where the cheats come into play. Now as it stands, your bots are going to be pretty useless. If you were to unpause the game and actually go into the match, none of your bots are going to move. They're going to be stationary, just like as if we were in a sandbox mode. To enable these bots, we can go ahead and use this command here. Press F7, and you can search for this command by typing in solo. You're going to see this command here, and we're going to make sure that we turn this to either true or 1. Now this alone will enable your bots to actually play the match. They'll look for lanes, they'll do all the fun stuff, but at this point they're not going to use the shop and they're not going to purchase any of their abilities. We can allow the bots to spend their action points by using this command here. And all we need to do is change this 0 into a positive number. The default is 5. This is going to allow the bots to spend their action points and actually buy and use abilities. This next command is going to allow them to use the shop, and then we just need to change this into a positive number. The default is 1. Now at this current point in the setup, if you were to unpause the game, you would have a pretty decent bot match. But sometimes you want something a little bit different. Let's talk about cheats. The hero testing tool comes with a couple of pre-equipped cheats. You can see things like no cooldown, no reload, flex slots, fast stamina, and this alone makes for a pretty fun matchup. If you wanted to take it a step further, maybe adjust the gravity, you can open up the console panel, type in this. Scroll down here and you can see that the default gravity is 800. If you wanted to create a higher jump, go ahead and reduce this number. Changing it to 400 will set the gravity in half. 200 down to a quarter. And this is going to give you a moon-like jump. You can even change the friction, and that's going to give you unlimited slide capability. The default's 4, but let's go ahead and set that to 0. We're probably setting ourselves up for a slippery slope. Now before we start this match, I'm going to show you how to create a file inside the game directory, which will allow you to load up all your pre-selected cheats that you want for your match in advance. So you don't have to type in these commands individually. You'll be able to load up different types of game matches that you can create on your own. So while the game's still running, I'm going to go ahead and open up Steam real quick. I'm going to go to my game library. I'm going to right click on Deadlock. From here I'm going to go to Manage. I'm going to browse local files. This is going to open up my Deadlock game directory. I'm going to open up the game folder. I'm going to open up the Citadel folder, and in this list I'm looking for a CFG folder, which is short for configuration. We're going to open that up. Inside this folder you're going to see a few configurations that are already set up. Anything ending in .cfg, you could load these up as match styles and play them at any time using these methods. Keep in mind the ones that say bot match might change some of your hero characters, so experiment with those on times you haven't set up a match like this one. If you see here, I've created my own. You can create your own simply by right-clicking somewhere in the folder, selecting New, Text Document. And you're going to rename this document to something that's familiar for you to load up into your game. I'm just going to name this lograv.cfg. Once you do that, press Enter. Make sure that you do want to change the file type, it's going to be okay. And we're going to look for wherever that file might have moved to because it's in alphabetical order. Right-click that file and open it up with your favorite text editor. It should be blank. So if you wanted to take the 2 commands we already did, gravity and friction, and put those inside of a config file so you don't have to type 2 commands next time, only 1, you can go back to the console panel, press up on the command list, and copy and paste these commands that you've already changed into that text document. We're going to come here and press up, Control A, Control Copy, and we're going to go ahead and paste that into our text document. After we paste it, we're going to create a new line, and we're going to go get our gravity command and put it in here as well. I'm going to press up, Control A, Control Copy, and we're going to paste that as well into our document. Create a new line, and once you have a list of commands that you want, go ahead and hit Control S to save this file. I'm going to go ahead and open up this config file that I use for all my matches that you see in my videos. I'll also put this file in the description for you to download so you can play the game like I play it. Take a look at some of these commands. Every time I create one of these files, I always turn off the testing tools at the end. This gives us back our mini-map in the game and takes away the testing panel on the side. Once you feel confident you have the right amount of commands for your file, you can open up the console panel and execute that entire file at once. Just press F7, you can type in this command, followed by the file name that we just created in the config folder. Go ahead and press enter, and that's going to enable every command in that list, even a long one like the one that I created previously. If you remember, at the end of my file I turned off my testing tools, so when I execute this command, I know that it's working properly when my testing tools panel disappears and a mini-map comes back, as it did on the right. Now, we finally have everything set up for a match. Let me go ahead and talk about bugs real quick. The only bug I've noticed with this, sometimes the player characters, either myself or my friends playing the game, we seem to glitch out a little bit right here on the ramp when we first execute the game. But if you open up your shop and then close it right away, that seems to take care of the glitch and you can continue to move forward. Other times you might not be able to use the shop until you die. Hopefully this satisfies your urges for custom matches with cheats. If you have any problems, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like memberships, you can always join mine. I appreciate it much, and I'll see you next time.